Hi everyone, I'm Miss Lisa with the Wayne County Public Library with today's early literacy tip. So today I want to start this parent tip with a quote from the U.S. Department of Education. When children learn to read, they have the key that opens the door to all the knowledge of the world. Without the key, many children are left behind. Or to paraphrase it Dr. Seuss style, the more you read, the more things you'll know. The more you learn, the more places you'll go. So let's talk about reading with babies first. If you don't have a book handy to read with a baby, really, you can read anything to them. It's the act of reading that makes a difference. You could read your shopping list, to-do list, even your own book. But when you do choose a book for a baby, make it simple and colorful. Board books are usually the best choice. I mean, you can, like I said, read anything, but board books are great for babies because they can actually grab hold of it themselves, and they're almost indestructible. So as you can see, this book is from the Baby Scientist series. It's called Baby Botanist. It's written by Dr. Laura Gell and illustrated by Daniel Weissman, and this book is published by HarperCollins Children's Books. This book is nice and simple. It's bright and colorful, as you can see. And, while you're reading, sometimes you can have fun with the book and use different voices. Some plants grow on water. Hello, frog. You're not a plant. So just have fun with it with your babies. Also with toddlers. Toddlers, they enjoy simple stories too, and they love to look at pictures. They'll learn that, at this age, they'll learn that we read a book from front to back and from left to right and from top to bottom. And they're also going to learn at this stage how to hold a book and how to turn a book's pages. Okay, I like to have books turn pages here at the side. Usually if you try to turn a page at the bottom, you'll get little rips at the bottom. So try to turn the page from the side like this. And that's one of the things that they're going to learn as toddlers, which is great. Now, I'm going to take a minute here to say, if your child wants to read the same book over and over and over, I know for us adults it can get monotonous, but it's great for children because they learn through repetition. I've got this book memorized thanks to my daughter. I read it to her over and over and over. But she loved it, and that's how she learned her ABCs. Sometimes, just before starting story time, I would find a child sitting on my reading chair pretending to read a book. And I love when this happens because this is when they're coming to understand how a book works. They're learning to retell the stories with the sequences of beginning and middle and end, and they're also seeing how words go together to make sense. So if your little one does this, just sit back, relax, and enjoy it. Sometimes children don't like to sit still and listen or look at the book while you're reading it. Don't let that bother you because some children like to wiggle or draw while you're trying to read, but they are listening to the story. For many children, this helps them to focus. Now you can engage your little one by having them try to predict what will happen before starting the book. You can use the title of the book to spark ideas. The book I've read earlier this week is called One is a Feast for Mouse, a Thanksgiving Tale. It was written by Judy Cox and illustrated by Jeffrey Ebeler, and it was published by Holiday House Incorporated. So if you can look at this and look at the title, One is a Feast for Mouse, does that look like one? And what do you think is going to happen? And as you're reading through the book, you can also stop and ask the child to recap the story. This helps them with understanding the content of the story. And if you want to go one step further, you can ask the child to bring their feelings into the story. For instance, let's look at this one. You can ask the child, what do you think this little mouse is feeling right now? Because I'm thinking he's pretty scared. So, coming across this big cat. And what would you do if you were this little mouse? Or what do you think is going to happen to everything he's got right now? So things like that can help a child become more involved in the content of a story. Now, you don't have to do this every time you read to your child. Sometimes just sitting for a quiet cuddle and reading a book is just as important for your child's sense of family, security, self-esteem, and of course, developing great reading skills. So thanks for joining me today. I'll be back next month with another early literacy tip for parents.